In the quiet town of Waverly, Tennessee, a dramatic transformation unfolded one fateful autumn night. A relentless downpour, which began as an ordinary storm, escalated into a catastrophic flash flood that would forever alter the landscape of the community and the lives of its residents. Central to this unfolding tragedy was Martha Wilson, a 76-year-old widow whose personal journey of loss and renewal has captured the attention of many. Martha Wilson had called her modest, two-bedroom cottage home since 1974. Nestled in a small neighborhood that had long provided the comfort of routine and community, the home was a repository of memories, from the shared laughter and quiet moments with her late husband, Thomas, to the countless everyday rituals that defined her existence. Over the years, Martha's connection to music had grown unexpectedly profound. A gift from her granddaughter, Emma, introduced her to the evocative lyrics and narrative power of Taylor Swift's music. Despite being far removed in age from the majority of Swift's fans, Martha found in the melodies a resonance that soothed her long-held grief over Thomas's passing to cancer 12 years earlier. The emotional tapestry of her life was interwoven with the soundtracks of Swift's albums, from the reflective notes of 1989 to the introspective strains of folklore. The events of that fateful Friday night began like any other storm. Heavy rain drummed steadily against the tin roof of Martha's home, its rhythm a familiar backdrop to her nightly routine. After taking her blood pressure medication and preparing a comforting cup of chamomile tea, Martha settled into her worn armchair, a relic of comfort and continuity. The gentle strains of Taylor Swift's folklore filled the air, a reminder of a connection that had blossomed unexpectedly in her later years. Yet as the night progressed, the rain transformed into an ominous precursor to the unfolding disaster. By dawn, the gentle patter of raindrops had given way to a fearsome roar. What had once been a peaceful creek behind Martha's home now roared like a freight train, its waters rising with alarming speed. Martha, awakened by an unfamiliar sound, made her way to the window with the aid of her cane. The sight that met her eyes was both surreal and devastating. The creek had breached its banks, and within minutes, water had surged through her backyard, creeping under the doorframe and threatening to engulf everything in its path. In a state of urgent alarm, Martha attempted to reach her son, Michael, only to find that her phone line was already silenced by the chaos outside. With no time to spare for gathering her belongings, she quickly secured her purse, her necessary medications, and, in a spontaneous act of sentiment, the vintage record player, a cherished gift from her late husband marking their 25th anniversary. As the floodwaters advanced, Martha was met by a neighbor, a young man named Jason, who had braved the tumult to offer help. With his guidance, she made her way through the rapidly rising water to the safety of his truck, parked on higher ground. In the hours that followed, the true scale of the disaster became painfully clear. Waverly, a small town steeped in history and communal bonds, was left devastated by a flash flood that delivered more than 17 inches of rain in less than 24 hours. Entire neighborhoods were transformed into rivers of destruction, homes were obliterated, vehicles swept away, and the community suffered a heartbreaking loss of 20 lives. Martha's cottage, situated in one of the lowest and most vulnerable areas near the creek, did not escape the wrath of the waters. By the time Michael managed to reach the property 2 days later, the home was unrecognizable, reduced to a skeletal framework of foundation and a few scattered walls, a stark reminder of the life and memories it once sheltered. For Martha, the loss was profoundly personal. Among the casualties were not only physical possessions but irreplaceable tokens of a life lived through joy and sorrow. Photographs capturing decades of family history, handmade quilts that had been lovingly stitched over many years, and treasured pieces of furniture passed down through generations were all swept away in the relentless tide. Most heartbreaking of all was the damage inflicted on her beloved collection of Taylor Swift vinyl records, a musical archive that had provided her comfort on the most difficult days. In the wake of the flood, the silence in her temporary residence was overwhelming, a void where familiar sounds had once resonated. In the aftermath of the tragedy, Emma, Martha's 20-year-old granddaughter and a student at Vanderbilt University, emerged as an unexpected advocate for her grandmother. Deeply moved by the devastation and the loss of a collection that had served as a lifeline for Martha, Emma turned to social media to share her grandmother's story. In a heartfelt post, she recounted the sequence of events, from the storm and the ensuing flood to the personal losses that had compounded Martha's grief. Emma described her grandmother as a resilient soul who had found solace in music during the darkest days following her husband's death. She highlighted the symbolic value of the Taylor Swift records, which represented not only an auditory escape but also a bridge to happier memories and the comforting presence of a musical narrative that echoed the themes of loss and recovery. Though the initial response on social media was modest, comprising a handful of shares and comments, along with offers of digital music files that could not replace the damaged vinyl, the post eventually caught the attention of a far more influential audience. Among those who viewed Emma's account was a representative from Taylor Swift's management team. Known for the artist's empathy and quiet acts of kindness toward her fans, the team recognized the profundity of Martha's ordeal. Within weeks of the post, a remarkable intervention was set in motion. A package arrived at Michael's home addressed to Martha Wilson, a heavy parcel without a return address. Inside, Martha discovered a brand new record player of considerably higher quality than the one she had lost, accompanied by a complete, pristine collection of Taylor Swift vinyl records. Beneath the records was a handwritten note on pale blue stationery bearing the unmistakable signature of Taylor Swift. The note expressed heartfelt condolences for Martha's loss and explained that the donation was intended not only to restore a cherished musical collection but also to provide tangible assistance for her future. Included in the package was information confirming that Taylor Swift's team had arranged for a year's rent on a small, one-bedroom cottage located within a senior living community near Michael's residence in Nashville. This gesture, both generous and deeply symbolic, was intended to offer Martha a fresh start, a place where she might begin the process of healing. For Martha, the arrival of the package marked a turning point. Although the pain of losing her home and the irreplaceable memories it contained was still raw, the kindness extended by an artist she had come to love offered a glimmer of hope. The new residence, though modest and far from the home where decades of memories had accumulated, represented a tangible opportunity to rebuild. Soon after moving in, additional support arrived in the form of a complete set of essential furniture, a donation from a local furniture store that sought to help restore a sense of normalcy and comfort. The new home, though unadorned, was imbued with the promise of renewal. The record player found its place in the living room, and as Martha played Folklore, the same album that had been a quiet companion on the night before the flood, the strains of Taylor Swift's voice became the soundtrack to her new beginning. In the weeks and months that followed, Martha slowly began to adjust to her new environment. Though the memory of the flood and the destruction it wrought remained indelibly etched in her mind, she found moments of solace and even joy in her renewed surroundings. She joined a quilting circle at the local senior center, where she met others who, like her, had experienced profound losses yet persevered with quiet determination. Outside her new cottage, a small garden took shape, a modest plot where she cultivated tomatoes and herbs, symbolizing the slow but steady return of life and growth in the wake of disaster. Martha's journey, from the devastation wrought by nature's fury to the unexpected benevolence of a global music icon, speaks volumes about the resilience of the human spirit. In an era marked by uncertainty and rapid change, her story serves as a poignant reminder that recovery is possible even in the face of overwhelming loss. The intersection of tragedy and compassion in Martha's life underscores the complex tapestry of modern existence, where community support and the healing power of art can converge in extraordinary ways. The investigative findings reveal that while the flash flood in Waverly, Tennessee, left a trail of destruction across homes and lives, it also catalyzed an unexpected narrative of recovery. Martha Wilson, once a symbol of enduring hardship, has emerged as a figure of resilience, a living testament to the fact that even amidst the darkest moments, there can be a path forward illuminated by the kindness of strangers and the redemptive power of music. Her new residence, secured through the compassionate intervention of Taylor Swift's management, is not merely a temporary shelter but a foundation upon which a renewed sense of identity and community is being built. As this report comes to a close, it is important to acknowledge that natural disasters, while devastating, can also unearth hidden strengths within individuals and communities. Martha Wilson's experience encapsulates the transformative potential of empathy and support, bridging the gap between personal loss and collective healing. In her gentle acceptance of a new beginning, underscored by the familiar strains of music that have long been her solace, there lies a broader narrative of hope. It is a narrative that reminds us that in times of crisis, art and human kindness are not merely ancillary comforts, but essential lifelines that help mend the fractures of our lives. Martha's story is far more than a chronicle of disaster. It is a testament to the enduring capacity for renewal. In a world where the forces of nature can unpredictably reshape the physical and emotional landscapes, her journey from devastation to a measured, hopeful rebirth stands as a compelling example of resilience. Her quiet determination to rebuild, supported by both community efforts and the empathetic outreach of an internationally renowned artist, offers a beacon of hope, a reminder that sometimes, from the depths of despair, emerges a new beginning defined by strength, dignity, and an unyielding commitment to life. This investigative report has sought to illuminate the multifaceted dimensions of a personal tragedy that reverberated across an entire community. The flood in Waverly not only claimed homes and lives, but also tested the limits of human endurance and the capacity for communal recovery. In recounting Martha Wilson's experiences, we find a narrative rich with the complexities of loss and the unexpected channels through which solace can be found. It is a story that compels us to consider how the intersections of nature's unpredictability, individual resilience, and the transformative power of art can forge paths to healing and renewal.